Hi, thanks for watching today, June 30th, the last day of June 2020. And if you like my news presentation today, be sure to hit the like button and share the video with someone else. 38% of voters think Biden has dementia. This is from Rasmussen. Nearly 4 out of 10 voters believe Joe Biden has dementia. Most voters, including just over half of Democrats, feel it is important for the likely Democratic presidential nominee to publicly address the issue. The latest Rasmussen Reports national telephone and online survey finds that 38% of likely U.S. voters think Biden is suffering from some form of dementia. Based on what they have seen and read, 48% disagree, but 14% are not sure. 51% of both Democrats and unaffiliated voters agree that it is important for Biden to address this dementia issue publicly. This view is shared by 81% of Republicans. Seniors are the most likely to believe Biden has dementia. The older the voter, the more likely they are to believe that it is very important for the White House hopeful to speak about this issue publicly. Well, this sounds like it's a very important issue for most voters. Now, I just watched Biden give a press conference where he took questions in Wilmington, Delaware today. It's the first time he's done that since this whole coronavirus started, where he was actually out in public and not in his basement. And I got to tell you, I watched it very closely. I watched in the beginning when he read his prepared statement. He was looking at both the teleprompters, but when he was answering questions, he wasn't. He was not reading off a teleprompter. Now, whether or not he knew those questions beforehand, we don't know. But in my opinion, he actually looked pretty good today. Now, I'm certainly not making excuses for Joe Biden. Many of the appearances that he had from his basement were pathetic, and he did look pretty bad. In fact, Trump is running ads based on Biden's mental abilities. But based on what I saw today, he looked pretty sharp. Now, in my opinion, it really doesn't matter because Joe Biden is a placeholder. He will be replaced maybe at the convention or after the convention, but he will not be the one on the ballot in November. That's for sure. Amy McGrath has won Kentucky's U.S. Senate Democratic primary, NBC News projects, edging out progressive Charles Booker in a tougher-than-expected race for the right to face Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell in November. McGrath, a retired Marine lieutenant colonel, who was backed by several establishment Democrats, including Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer, has initially been a heavy favorite in the race and held an enormous fundraising edge over Booker, a state representative whose candidacy has received the support of progressive lawmakers and groups. But Booker ended up mounting a far tougher challenge than politics watchers expected, fueled by momentum from his vocal support for protests against the shooting death by police of a Louisville woman. On Tuesday, a week after the election, McGrath led Booker 45.1% to 42.9%, or by a margin of about 11,600 votes, with 95% of the state's precincts reporting, according to NBC News. The tally has been delayed because of the large number of mail-in votes. The Kentucky Secretary of State said that the 161,238 people voted in person last Tuesday, but there were more than 500,000 mail-in ballots. So they've called this race, and it looks like McGrath has won, defeating Booker. It was close. It was really close. And I think what we need to see is that even if you have a really strong progressive candidate and you're running up against someone who's just a total establishment hack, that the establishment can pull it out. Now, whether that was legit or not, I would investigate. I would probably audit the votes. But it looks like McGrath is going to go on to face McConnell. in November, and yeah, McConnell's going to win. Carl Reiner, the writer, producer, director, and actor who was part of Sid Caesar's legendary team and went on to create The Dick Van Dyke Show and direct several hit films, has died. He was 98. He died of natural causes on Monday night at his home in Beverly Hills. Reiner, the father of filmmaker and activist Rob Reiner, was the winner of 9 Emmy Awards, including 5 for The Dick Van Dyke Show. His most popular films as a director included Oh God, starring George Burns in 1977, The Jerk with Steve Martin in 1979, and All of Me with Martin and Lily Tomlin in 1984. In 1995, Reiner received the Writers Guild Laurel Award, a Lifetime Achievement Award for a career in TV writing. In 2000, he won the Mark Twain Prize for Humor, presented by the Kennedy Center. In 2009, he was presented with the WGA's Valentine Davies Award, recognizing both his writing legacy and valued service to the Guild, the entertainment industry, and the community at large. He authored several memoirs and novels, including the 2003 My Anecdotal Life, where he observed, quote, "Inviting people to laugh with you while you're laughing at yourself is a good thing to do. You may be a fool, but you're the fool in charge." Carl Reiner was 98. He will be missed. The Tour de France goes virtual. For the first time since the end of World War II, the Tour de France won't happen in July. There will be some world-class bike racing happening, it just won't be on the roads. Like other sports, real-world racing shut down in March when the coronavirus hit in earnest and hasn't come back yet. The planned pro cycling restart is late July, with a rescheduled tour in September. In its wake, virtual racing, via mass multiplayer online platforms, has tried to fill the competition void for riders and fans. Next week, the fledgling discipline gets its largest showcase ever in a virtual Tour de France of sorts on Zwift, the biggest player in the growing online racing world. NBC Sports cable channel will cover the first 2 stages of the race, July 4th and 5th, and again on the following 2 weekends from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern Time. Now, this is going to be interesting to watch a virtual race on TV. One thing that I checked out with this company, Zwift, is people have their bike trainers and they're working out there, and based on the sensors, then they move the avatar on the screen. And so this is going to be really interesting to see this video game, essentially, broadcast on national television. And for all the people that are cycling at home or using this Zwift program to do this virtual training, I think it's exciting to be able to put yourself up against the pros, see what they can do, and it can be inspiring to get more fit. For decades, scientists have known lifting weights gradually makes you physically stronger. But according to new research, the workout initially changes the brain before changing muscle. In a fascinating study published Monday in the Journal of Neuroscience, scientists broke down these neural adaptations in an unconventional way. They taught monkeys how to strength train and examined how the activity transforms the brain and body. This is from Inverse.com. The experiment revealed that the weightlifting strengthens the nervous system through a motor tract called the reticular spinal tract, weeks before any muscle is added. Quote, "Strength isn't just about muscle mass," co-author Isabel Glover, a researcher at Newcastle University, tells Inverse. "When you start lifting weights, you get stronger because the neural input to your muscles increases. It's only a few weeks later that the muscles themselves start to get bigger. People do see benefits quite early on in terms of becoming stronger because the nervous system changes mean that they can activate their existing muscles more efficiently," Baker says. But they don't see changes in muscle mass. That takes longer and seems to come after the changes in the brain and spinal cord. If people don't immediately notice stronger limbs after they start lifting weights, they should realize that something else is happening. Powerful neural changes in the brain that can lead to long-term physiological payoffs. Now, I've long believed that one of the best things that you can do, not just for your physical health, but for your mental health, is lifting weights and also doing some cardio. Both of those is even better. But the findings, I think, today back that up. That when you start lifting weights, if it helps with your neural network, helps your brain and your spinal cord, and how it all functions together, that's very positive, and I think that anyone can really benefit from doing some weightlifting. It's not Schwarzenegger type weightlifting. You don't have to worry about bodybuilding and getting jacked. Believe me, no one accidentally gets that big. But just some small weights and doing some exercises, some basic weightlifting, I think is going to be a huge benefit to you, and I would encourage everyone to give it a try. Please leave a comment about any of these stories. Have an awesome day. Peace.